trying to teach you that there's so much more involved with what we eat. So it's not just the calories in and calories out, but it's the quality of the calories that we're bringing in our bodies, right? So that's the same kind of concept when we come to metabolism, how our metabolism works. So I'm really, you know me, if you know me any piece of time, you know that I'm really an advocate of teaching you as opposed to just relying on you, just telling you what to do. So we've talked before about the importance of sleep, and sleep has a huge importance on metabolism. So we have that whole rhythm diet, which was to bring you back into your natural circadian rhythm, which is your wake sleep rhythm, which is also your eat and non-eat and fuel and non-fuel rhythm. It is the rhythm of life, right? And so all of us have a certain rhythm. Ideally, it doesn't work for everyone, but ideally, if your life allows for it, when the sun comes up is when you wake, and when the sun goes down is when you sleep. And then you start to really kind of align. When you truly feel hunger is when you eat. And when you don't feel hunger is when you don't eat. And there's times to move the body, and there's times and ways to do it. With that, I need you to know that there's something called the valgus nerve. So the valgus nerve runs all the way from the gut all the way to the brain. So when I say that there's a communication between the brain and the gut, there really is. There is a communication that is brought from a number of factors. So I know I'm mentioning a few different things, but recognize we're going to be talking about this over the next couple of weeks, but I need you just to hear it today and to start to incorporate it in just your understanding. So you have this communication, you have an actual nerve that's running in between the two, and signaling when I'm hungry, how much I should eat, when I should stop. What happens is we tend to eat past all those things. We eat so quickly, we do things, and we're not really connected with our bodies. And so in that space of non-connection, we make really poor choices. So know that the body is really a fine-tuned machine if we can get it working right. So one of the things that you've heard about is insulin, right? So you all know about insulin. You know about the spikes of insulin in your bloodstream can cause you to, for instance, put more weight on the center of your body, where the reason they're so focused on the center of their body is because it's where all your organs are, right? So we don't really want to have a high fat content where your heart is, where your lung is, where all your vital organs are. So you'll see that I'm always talking about inches off the waist, the belt on the waist. The reason for that is because that is an area that I really want to focus on, and that is an area that's indicative of maybe too much insulin running in the system. So insulin is good, though. Insulin in and of itself is not bad. That's a natural part of our whole body. So centrally, the pancreas releases the insulin, right? Insulin comes in through the body, and we have an opportunity for it to actually dock. Like if you think about, ships coming into a dock, they dock on different cells, in the muscular cells, neural cells, fat cells, and it's an opening point to allow energy into the cells. We get our energy from something called glucose. I know I'm saying a bunch of things I don't need you to remember. I just want you to see it in your mind. So here we are, we're docking. There's an entry point. The glucose can come in. Energy is put in the cells so we can do something. If you were with me on Wednesday, we did some, punches, kickboxing. I needed you to have energy in your cells to be able to do that, right? Now, if there's too much insulin floating in the system, right, it's docking all over the place. And if you're not doing enough exercise, which you can't possibly if you have too much insulin in your system, then it goes into the fat cells for storage. And so it just stores everything, and it's a constant storage. And if you have too much insulin in the system, then it's working all the time to doing this docking when it shouldn't be. It shouldn't even be, it should have been dissipated by that time. So a lot of our goals is to really reduce the insulin level, right? So you can see people, like I've had people to say to me, you know what, I've been doing everything and I'm still not seeing a result. And we kind of have to look back at what you're eating. We know also that if you're not eating, you cause a lot of problems as well. Because if you're just starving yourself, then what the body does, it moves into starvation mode. So it moves into storage mode. It's very fine-tuned. You can't fool it too easily, right? So sustained periods of really kind of intermittent not eating it causes the body to shut and slow, and still the insulin will come in and dock and store. And now the body is on that storage mode and is just going to store fat for the idea that, oh my goodness, if I don't store, something's going to happen to me. I'm going to starve to death. And so I'm not going to allow that to happen. So I'm going to store. So for metabolism, you have to be really cognizant of the fact of how I fuel my body, right? So we want to get rid of the refined sugars, right? So I'm saying those sugars that they have to burn like this. So when you eat a granola bar, for instance, a healthy granola bar, right? I said, Lisa, it's very healthy. Has 10 grams of protein, right? But it's got a lot of sugar in it. It's just like a candy bar, really, with a little bit more protein. It just comes in your system really quickly, I'm just telling you. And it comes in as glucose. And then if you have too much of that in your system, it docks on a cell and boom. Now, next thing you know, you have, see who we just let on. I want to make sure. Next thing you know, you have too much insulin in your system, and that whole storage aspect happens again. So you really don't want to be in that position. And so one of the things that we do is look very closely to the diet. And when I say diet, you know me, I'm not one to say like deprivation diet. I don't really believe in that. It doesn't work anyway. It makes one of the things that's also happening, I mentioned about the hormones, you don't want to have something called cortisol. So you might have heard of cortisol, right? So cortisol is a stress hormone. And it's a necessary hormone because if for instance, I were to release a beast like a lion, and you had to run really fast, you need that stress hormone to make you book faster than you ever book. And I don't care if you have a bum hip or a knee or whatever, you have to move, and you will move if you have to. Wait a minute, hold on one second. This is our guest. Let me just tell him. I am introducing you. One moment. All right. Of course, I should spell the words correctly. So you want to have that in, but if you are stressing the body by way of, just stress that you're in about, oh, I'm on this diet and I'm starving and you start all this cortisol, it actually helps to store fat, right? Because it needs you to have that burst of energy ready to take on. But if you have that storage too long, it just gets stored as fat, right? Oh, hold on one second. He's having trouble getting in the meeting, but I just saw him. 1 minute. Okay. Let me just do this. I love when I'm trying to do so many things all at once, and you do so many things all at once and you do nothing at the same time. So hold on 1 second. So I want you guys to write down the words cortisol. I want you to write down the word vagus nerve, and you're going to do a little research on your own to kind of look into that. And so when we follow up on that, you're going to be very knowledgeable about what those things are. The other thing that I want you to write down is lectin. It's lectin. And this is going to be a big subject of conversation over the next week as we move into really understanding how foods can affect hormones, how foods can affect metabolism. Just a little bit on the person coming in. Before that, I'm going to need you guys to stay after for a moment, just having a couple more people join in. I'm going to need you to stay after just for a moment, because what I want to be able to do is outline the next challenge. The next challenge is going to be beginning on Monday and going to go all the way Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday until Friday. And it's going to be doing something called So you guys have heard me say the kitchen is closed before, but I'm going to say the kitchen is closed again. And I'm going to touch it into what we call intermittent fasting. But one of the ways to boost up the metabolism is through exercise. One of the ways is through how we fuel our body, timing of fueling our body, and the way mechanisms we fuel. Another way to boost up metabolism is to, okay, we've got a couple more people coming in, is to watch our portions, but also the way that we eat our portions. So for instance, you know, with the rhythm diet, you saw that we were doing a lot more of fruits and vegetables and how we added in the proteins and utilizing the proteins as a way of really just preparing the body, you know, for fuel and for digestion. So that means that if you're having some kind of fruity based shake, you have a little protein because that slows down the metabolism and the metabolism process of that food. So it's not going to flow through your system right away in the way that granola bar did, and you have more time over the day to burn off those calories, right? So one of the ways that we're looking at, we've already talked about decreasing refined sugars, adding protein to every meal, being really judicious on how we use fruits and vegetables. And so I'm going to naturally move you into the next challenge beyond this one that we're going to talk after our guest is finished, which is going to be, what am I going to tell you? So I got two more challenges, two more big challenges coming up, but I need this to be a steady progress. And I'm hoping that everyone will be a part of this challenge. If everyone that's a part of this challenge will get a prize just being on the challenge itself. So I have a guest coming on. He just came into the waiting room. So before I actually admit him, actually I am going to admit him then. So the guest that I have on, his name is Master, he's so cute, Master Kevin Thompson Jr. He is the head instructor and CEO of the Shaquille School of Martial Arts. It's located in Bloomfield, New Jersey. He teaches martial arts, something called grappling, boxing, kickboxing, group, personal fitness, self-defense, and more. This particular group was founded in 1981, and the Shaquille Warriors have developed a method of training the spirit, the mind, and the body to overcome obstacles that are placed in our way. So they're really very focused on training the minds, honing the spirits, and part of what Kevin's work, Master Kevin's work is through a meditation. And so you remember I'm talking about this whole stress hormone and how we want to be able to have some control over our ability not to stay in the stress zone and to know how we can move in and out. And I've played with a little bit of showing music and, you know, breathing. And so I always love to have someone that could come in and really tackle it in a whole different way. So I am going to, as soon as he's all set on. Kevin, are you on?
Yes, can you guys hear me?
There you are. Yes, I do. So
Good
I
morning,
am
everyone.
going to highlight your video, spotlight your video. And are you going to play anything? Do I need to make you a host? Or are you going to share your screen in any way?
No, everybody can just, where you are. That's perfect. I have a little bit of music because we're going to, like I said, we're going to meditate. When we do our meditation, we like to have music in the background to kind of let our mind flow. So what you'll hear is something very, very soothing and calm. It'll be very jazzy in the background. With my morning meditation, I like to listen to something a little more upbeat. I know a lot of people like to listen to more Zen, but when I want to wake up, and start the day off on a great note, I'd like to start with a little bit of upbeat jazz. So we'll be going into our meditation. One of the few things that I wanted to kind of just give you guys a small education on. There are two words that really come to mind when we think about meditation. The first is kime. It's a Japanese word. It means to tighten the mind. Okay, it's spelled K-I-M-E. And when you tighten the mind, you want to focus on something. Particularly in this case, we want to focus on, what we're going to do today, how we're going to get through our day, and what's the positive things are going to be. And we're going to try and push anything that may degrade or take away from that, push that out of our minds. And we're going to focus directly on all of the good things that we want to happen today, this weekend, and moving forward. So every time we do that, we want to kime and tighten our minds and focus on all of the positive. And the second, it's like a very push and pull method. So the second is mushin. Sounds very mushy, right? And it actually sounds exactly what it is. So it means to let the mind flow, okay, and let your thoughts actually take over, and to just really have a fluid train of thought. So while we're meditating, not only are we going to be focusing on those positive things, we're going to be letting all of those positive thoughts flow directly through everything that we're doing. Okay, so we want to make sure that we're tightening with Kame, and we're loosening and letting the mind flow with the Mushin. Okay, everyone? So just to start, we're going to do a few movements just so we can get our body into our state. And then if you're sitting, it doesn't matter where you're going to do this. You can do it on the floor. You can do it in bed. You can even be lying down and do this. So it doesn't matter where you are. So we're just going to start, everyone. Remember, we're going to make sure it's very based on breathing. Our breath is very, very important, okay? So what we're going to do to start is everyone grab your comfortable position, okay? It's just all we're gonna do. We're gonna move today with just some arm movements. Okay. So we're gonna breathe in, bringing our hands up, bring in through your nose, and we're gonna push out and exhale. Good. Inhale. Good. Exhale. The hands help you breathe. Inhale. They bring the breath in, and then we push it out. Exhale. Good. One more time. And inhale. And exhale. Okay, good. Our next movement is we're going to bring our hands out to the side, and we're going to slowly bring them up top, inhaling at the same time, and then we're going to exhale on the way down, okay? And one more time, inhale out, up, and down, exhale. Good. Again, out, and inhale, and exhale down. Good. One more time. And out. And inhale. Up. And exhale down. Okay. So that was a very small exercise to warm ourselves up, just to make sure that we have our breathing cadence down. Okay. And you guys are controlling your breath. A lot of meditation is really focused on controlling your breathing and focusing on your breathing, okay? So when we go with we're gonna go for 5 minutes, and all we're gonna do is we're gonna sit and we're going to meditate. I'm going to put on the music a little bit, and you guys are gonna close your eyes, and what I want everyone to do is simply focus on your breathing like we just did. Inhale, exhale. I'll go through it with you while we're going, and I'll kind of coach and guide you all through it. But we're going to inhale and exhale, focusing on that breath, and then we're going to allow all of those positive thoughts, right, to flow through us. We're going to focus, and then we're going to allow them to flow, right? Kime and Mushin. We're going to let everything come in and then go back out, okay? So everybody find your nice position, okay? Find something very, very comfortable. You want to do as little movement as possible, okay? So if it's a chair, if you're sitting down in the bed, it doesn't matter where you are, as long as you're comfortable in that position and you can do it without moving. Hold on, let me set up my speaker really quickly and we can get started, okay, everyone? There we go. Sorry, technical difficulties. Just playing. All right. Okay, so I'm going to start the clock right now, everyone. Well, I want you guys to close your eyes, and then I will guide you through it, okay? So we're going to start now. And remember, we want to focus on inhale, exhale. In through your nose and out through your mouth. Inhale. Exhale. Focus on controlling your breathing. You want to slow it down to as slow as you can go. Tighten and focus the mind on the positive. It's a beautiful sunny day outside. Let's continue to manifest and push today and the weekend and next week to be just as beautiful as today is. Continue to focus on your breathing and let your mind go wherever it goes. Do not fight it. Inhale and exhale. Continue to focus on your breathing. Command. Tighten the mind. Shin. Let the thoughts flow. Control your breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. Here we go. Inhale and exhale. Continue to focus and tighten the mind while also letting it go. Let your thoughts flow. Remember, we want to focus on the positive. We want to manifest and attract all of the positive thoughts and all of the positive vibes that we can on this great, beautiful Friday morning. Remember, continue to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Inhaling and exhaling, controlling your breath, focusing on your breath in, holding it, and then letting it go out. And that completes our 5 minutes of meditation, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for coming. I hope you all enjoyed it. You guys can open your eyes now, everyone. Something like that, an exercise like that is great to do at the beginning of your day, at the end of your day, or whenever anything's going on, if you ever need to relieve stress or there's a situation going on, take your 5 minutes, you sit down, focus on your breathing, and learn how to recenter yourself through your breathing and your positive thinking and letting your thoughts flow. And remember, our 2 words for the day, kime and mushin. Kime means to tighten the mind, Kime, and mushin, Mushin, means to let the mind flow, let the thoughts flow. Okay? Thank you all. It was such a pleasure meditating with you all this morning. It's great to always have, some friends to do it with.
So, Kev, can I ask you a little questions about your business?
Yes, I would love to. Yes.
You've been in business for a while, and just by way of background for everybody, I met this young gentleman through a project we had hoped to do this year, but some other forces came into line, namely COVID, and delayed some things, but didn't delay all. And so you're wearing a T-shirt.
Yes.
One, talk about the business, talk about what this T-shirt, what it means to you, and yeah.
So my father started the business, as Lisa gave me the generous introduction. He started the business in 1981 in Newark, New Jersey. He is my father, as you see in the background, that's him in the picture. He was a world class martial artist, Michael Jordan of the sports martial arts scene over the last 40 some odd years. The school, we are currently located in Bloomfield, New Jersey. And 2 weeks ago, amidst all of the civil unrest that's been going on, we were approached about participating in one of the peaceful protests, or actually 2 of the peaceful protests in West Orange and Montclair. And so with that, we figured that we have 40 years of thousands and thousands of people coming through our doors. So we mobilized our group and we came out and we donated 100 of these T-shirts. As you guys can see on the front, they say "Can't Stop, Won't Stop" with our logo. And on the back, it says "Warriors for Justice."
I love it. Beautiful. Very motivating. I think you also told me you guys designed a face mask that also says the same thing, does it, or is it?
Yeah, so our face mask is pretty much the same design. It says "Can't Stop, Won't Stop," because that's our motto, you know. Every day we get up, we can't stop and we won't stop. We're gonna go through every obstacle that's in our way. A Shaquille's warrior, the definition of a Shaquille's warrior is actually one who's willing to go beyond the stopping point. So every day when we wake up, we gotta remember that we gotta go beyond that stopping point, right? Wherever that wall is, we gotta break through that wall. And then if there's another wall, break through that wall there again, okay? We just gotta keep moving forward. So that's what "Can't Stop, Won't Stop" means. And so we put that on everything because, you know, we can't stop and we won't stop.
Love it. So if people were interested in, I don't know, meditation, or there were some other classes, do you have like classes of different levels of fitness? And, can someone come that maybe hasn't done martial arts? Like what would be available?
So we take everyone is welcome, because martial arts is not just for the strong or just for the able. Martial arts, like we said in the beginning, it's about training the spirit, the mind, and the body. The body, we always say, is last, because the body is something that we're always training, right? We're always up, we're moving, we're trying to, stay moving and healthy. But we very, very rarely focus on our minds, right? How do we train our minds? How do we train our spirits on a day-to-day basis with something else besides, reading a book or going to school and educating yourself? How do you train your spirit and your mind in other ways? And over the last 40 years, through martial arts, we have come up with ways to, like we do, meditating, our martial arts, our self-defense. These are all ways that we don't just train our body. It looks like on the surface that we're just doing techniques, but it's all for, the spirit and the mind as well. We're currently right now, with everything that's going on with COVID-19, we have been doing virtual classes. We don't have a meditation class because we weren't able to get it off the floor before everything started. But we will be implementing that along with a lot of our new fitness classes. We do kickboxing, boxing, and we also have HIIT classes, which is high intensity interval training, those are all very short classes. We try to get you in and out of there with all of our workouts. We don't like to have you working out for an hour, hour and a half, and you're just kind of there just pounding the pavement. No, we like to kind of get in, get out, very, very fast training. It's very much like what we're doing right now, in, out, and you guys can get along with your day. I can definitely leave my information for you guys to be able to come and sign up for virtual classes and do some things. We're also doing tomorrow in the park at 7 a.m. in Bloomfield at Watts-Essing Park. We will be holding some fitness classes as well as kids martial arts classes throughout the morning. So we would love to have anyone that is in the area and interested. We would love to have you guys come out and join us. The more the merrier.
Well, what I would love to do, Kevin, is one, when you have different events, if you can let me know so I can do a shout out to the group. And then two, I would love to maybe work with you to do a special meditation, actual full out meditation class for the group. And we can talk about what that would look like and the timing of that.
Yeah.
But I think I can speak on behalf of the group that we would be really interested in doing some other things with you. So
awesome. I'm
glad. I love the T-shirt, and I wanted everyone to see it because that is going to be one of the little prizes that I have for some.
Yeah, no, we're definitely gonna hook you guys up with these shirts. Can't stop, won't stop.
So I'm talking to Kevin. If you all love it as much as I do, hopefully you'll do the challenges that I give you so that I can coordinate with Kevin about that. I will say that Horizon Blue Cross has reached out to me and said, when you have little prizes, when you want to do something, to kind of support me on that so that I can support you, because we're supporting each other's businesses. So Kevin and I will be in conversations about how many T-shirts and all of that. But I wanted you guys to visually see it. It's not enough for me to say it. It's really well designed. And I want to make sure, does anyone have any questions for Kevin? Because I'm going to release him. He's a busy guy. He's got his business to run. But if you have like one question, somebody has something.
Anything that you guys have questions on, please.
Anybody?
Anyone.
Let me unmute everybody. So everyone's unmuted. Anybody have a question?
No, I don't have a question, but my grandson went to your school, your karate school.
What?
Yeah.
Who is that talking?
Who's speaking?
Jackie.
Yeah. Isn't it a small world?
Yeah, went there.
I'll put this.
What's your grandson's name?
TJ. His name is Terod Hill.
Oh my gosh! Yes. Yes.
I love it.
Oh, he's awesome. It's such a small world, There are things that we go all over the place doing things, and we always run into someone who has, like I said, we've been around for 40 years. We always run into at least one or two people who have either heard of us or maybe even connected to us through like your grandson or sons and relatives like that. So that's always awesome to hear. It's all over.
Right. Very good. Thank you very much for that.
Well, can we all give him an applause, or jazzy hands, or if you're home, put up a little thumbs up. Thank you so much, Kevin. I really appreciate you coming on. Of course, we're going to be coordinating a bunch of stuff. I have other projects I want to talk to you about anyway, but for another time. But thank you for coming today, and I'll be talking with you shortly about the T-shirts. Okay.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for letting me come join you all this morning. Have a great morning, and remember, positive thoughts always, right? Can't stop.
Yes.
I love it. All right. Thanks, Kev.
All right, everybody. Have a great one.
All right.
So everyone, you're sticking around for a moment. Now you heard from Kevin, and I want to give you what is our next challenge. Did everyone get a benefit out of taking a moment of meditation? Yes?
Yes. It was good.
So I want to be able to show you so many different ways from so many different people. Some will resonate with you and you'll be, oh yeah, that's it. People that came on a little later, I recorded it. I'm going to send the recording around so you'll be able to listen to it. It may be something that you just put in to pop in and you say, okay, I'm going to listen to this, a couple times a day. It was only 10 minutes. or at least once a day. So I want to be able to give you a series of things, and something is going to resonate and click with you. And when it does, that's going to be the thing that you're going to really lock on to allow yourself to allow the stress hormones to come down. Because as important as sleep is, and sleep is so important. And while, I'm going to keep banging you on the head about sleeping and, how many hours are you getting sleep? And, I'll be sending out little, polls and studies as we go. I try to just move through things, right? But if you don't have enough sleep, you are naturally going to be in a higher state of stress. And so if you're in between trying to improve sleep, this is a good way for you to really get that relaxing moment to allow the other nervous system, the parasympathetic nervous system, to take out, which is really that de-stressing zone. And in that zone, you become more present. And when you're more present, you make better decisions. You're clear in thought, and you're much better at making the choices that are going to make your body feel better. That's all this whole thing is. I'm going to demystify it into one thing. I am just trying to make you work as you were intended to work, as you came here from God. You are an efficient machine, beautiful and unique in your own right. And all I want you to do is be able to communicate self between mind, body, and spirit, so that you are able to make the decisions necessary to fuel your body right, to move your body as you should. And then now you can operate in all the beautiful ways that you were meant to operate. Any one of those things is off, your ability to really fulfill who you are is off. You will never be able to do the best of who you could do if any of these factors are off. So we're trying to bring them together. And there's nothing like meditation to give you that moment of reconnection, right? Jazzy hands, hands up if I can commit 10 minutes a day to some type of meditation. Can you do that? Yay, yay. If you're at home, you can, I got to teach you when you're at home on the phone, you can at least say yay, or you can send me a little emoji or something that I will get on my phone. So whether you're home by phone or by video, there's a way to send like a high five. So I'm gonna teach y'all that kind of concept. So here's the challenge. We're on Friday, starting on Monday. You saw the beautiful t-shirts. Did everyone love the t-shirts?
Yes,
right?
great.
There were some good t-shirts.
Yes.
I will commit to getting everyone that does this challenge a t-shirt, period. You don't do the challenge, no t-shirt. So now what's going to happen? You're going to be rocking the t-shirt and you're not having it, and you're going to feel bad about it. So I'm going to suggest that you do the challenge, right? It's a way that we can support his business, which I love, and for you to actually get a benefit from it as well, right? So that's some serious cash. I'm putting it on the line here. So and I love you. No, Horizon Blue Cross was supposed to be on the call, but they're not. But that's okay, because I love that they're going to help to support a little bit. Intermittent fasting. I call it kitchen is closed. Other people call it rose bunny. Smells sweet. What it is getting your body closer to that circadian rhythm that we were trying to do before, right? And what it says is there's a time to fuel and there's a time not to fuel. Mm-hmm. There's a mentality, especially in this country, of grazing. I call it the grazing mentality. What animal do you know grazes? You guys know?
Cows.
Okay. They be grazing. Eating all day.
Yeah.
And they want them to do that because why? They want them to be nice and big, right? Because when they're big, then they have a lot more meat, right? And then they're worth the slaughter, right? They don't want no skinny cows. You see a skinny cow, something going on in that farm, right?
Right.
They want a skinny cow. So they encourage a lot of that. They throw a lot of grains in there too, just to make sure if they're not getting enough by the grass, they're going to grain them up. So two things I want you to get from that. One, whereas I'm talking about eating healthy grains, which is wonderful, there's a great source and there's a lot of reasons why you want to eat it. I want to make you guys smart about it. If you're eating only grains and that's what you're making your whole diet, you got to think of the things that eat grains all the time. It's usually farm animals and whatever, and they're trying to or some farm raised fish, they feed grains. Really weird. Because they want them to be fat, right? So if you're just feeding yourself grains and you think that somehow you're different than all the animals out there, I'm telling you, you're not. So that's why we talked about the fruits and the vegetables and the mix and the little bit of grains, that, you know, and using grains as a protein source, but not as the main source, right? The other thing that we want to talk about, so we're going to move from the grazing mentality, that is the snacking all day or walking in the kitchen and picking up something and eating and not counting it small, little. Two, okay, someone has an echoing going on, but I want to keep it open if I can, but not I'll have to mute. Two, I want you to be able to fuel your body and then stop fueling to let your body catch up with the fuel that's in it to be able to metabolize it efficiently. So the goal would be, for instance, to stop eating after dinner and not pick up eating for at least 12 hours. Minimum. 12 to 14 hours, thumbs up. So think about it. That's your sleeping time anyway, right? And so you're stopping eating several hours before you go to bed, and then you're not picking up eating until an hour or so after you wake, or an hour after you wake, something like that, right? That's challenge part one, part of the challenge part one, right? You know, I'm gonna make it so that'll give me about a good 12 to, I'm going to say 16 hours, because some of y'all are warriors out there. You know, you've already done this. So let's challenge you a little bit further. So do your math. So whenever you stop eating, now you got to add 12 hours, 12 to 16 hours beyond that to pick up eating. Okay. So you don't have to tell me, do I have to stop at 5 or 6? I don't care when you stop, although earlier is a little better to give yourself. And then you want to be able to have all that beautiful time to allow the body to really metabolize the food, to digest the food, first of all, and then to metabolize it like energy, secondly. Okay? So that's going to be my 12, I said to 14, but I'm really going to say 12 to 16 hour gap. But anywhere in there, you're going to be a winner, right? And you're going to do this for 5 days. Hey, listen, it's a t-shirt. You got to work for it. I can't have it like, oh, I did for 1 day, it didn't work. No, I don't want to hear it. It's for 5 days. I know 5 days. 5 days in a row. I've found that having done this challenge a few times with different groups, people come up with all sorts of, well, you didn't say, well, you didn't tell me, and they did it 5 days over a month. No, 5 days in a row, right?
Yeah.
And
do it after 8.
Challenge part, the second part of the challenge, because you know I got to make you work at this. Got to be working. Right? So we're still kind of doing some version of, I sent you some vegan meals dinner. I sent you the rhythm diet dinner. So you know that you're doing some version of eating more fruits and vegetables, right? And healthy grains. All of that still stays. You can't be having a cheeseburger after you did the thing, right? They're going to defeat the purpose. I still need you doing everything that we've talked about before. That all still continues. We're adding something. The first meal of the day is going to be something green based.
Okay, that's
now,
good.
It could be, Lisa, I don't want to drink my breakfast. Okay, I'm with you. I'm all right. I'm not hating on you. You can saute it. You can, it's greens.
Right.
It's collard greens. It's broccoli. It's cabbage. It's a freedom. And I'm going to send you a little list of anything it can be. Anything. And it's going to be freedom. And you know how you guys been posting pictures as, oh, I haven't gotten any recently? Hello. Yeah. I love to see what you're doing, because what you do inspires others to do the same. So you're going to post some pictures of different ways of the breakfast you're going to have. It's going to be a green breakfast. It's just greens. Green, all different color greens. And that's going to be the first. You can blend it and you can have it as a smoothie. Lisa, can I put a little piece of fruit in it? Yeah, you can put a little piece of fruit, but I want it mostly on the greens, less on the fruit. Most greens, less on the fruit. Lisa, what are the best fruits? Well, when we're talking about berries are really kind of wonderful because they have a lot of other antioxidant, which is really kind of a cell protective ingredient that's part of those fruits. And so there's some other benefits to it. besides it being a little bit, it'll, give you a little tiny bit of sweetness. Well, how about an apple, Lisa? Apple is pretty good. I like to skin it. You might want to, I don't want the apple that's like, oh, I bought this apple. There's apples and then there's apples. You see the size? There's apples and then there's apples. There's bananas and then there's bananas, right? I'm not really big on the banana right now. Just at this meal. Banana, nothing problem with the banana. I have no problem with the banana. It's more the sizes. So look at buying fruits that used to be, because recognize when you see hyper big, gigantic, ginormous fruit, make a little question in your brain and say to yourself, I remember when I was a kid and I had fruit. Was the fruit that big? I just want you to make a little question in your mind. Boop. And then I want you to say, why is the fruit that big?
Right.
Okay. And I'm going to guarantee something they put in the soil,
right,
or they bred something together, in the science lab. And that banana no longer is that little free banana that grew by itself, without touch of human hands.
Right.
Ask yourself, this is your mind. So, and with your fruits, you really want to try to buy them in season, right? So it's like the difference between eating a plum and it's July and eating a plum and it's January. I'm guarantee I don't know where the plum came from, but it was far away, right? It's a lot of traveling and things happen and soil and all of that. So we're going to start to just try to think about what's in season. We used to say that anyway. There was a time watermelon, there's a time when water is in season and then that's it, but you're not eating the watermelon, but they'll have it all year long. But I'm going to guarantee you there's some things that go on freshness wise and what's going on in the traveling and where it's coming from. It's too far away. So we're trying to move ourselves as close to when something was pulled from the soil, as close to us as we can, right? Yeah. So any questions about the challenge?
Yes, I have one.
Yes.
So on the green base,
yeah,
it doesn't have to be all green. Like I can have a spinach. Oh, sorry, a spinach omelet.
Yes.
Okay, so it's just it has to have some green.
Okay, so that was a real great question. And typically, I would say yes. Eggs are fabulous. Eggs are actually really a fabulous source of protein, right? But I'd rather you have, so let's just divide it up. Let's have the egg about an hour and a half, a little bit later, as sort of in that snack, version. But in the morning, it's just greens.
Okay.
It's gonna feel so good. Lisa, why are you doing this to us? Because we get in a habit of eating a certain way, and it's a mental thing. So if you're always used to having a certain thing at a certain time, what happens is when I try to change it up, it's like, oh, the body, and then all of a sudden you're and I want to move you through the fact that you can change it up. Because one of the prizes, and I am going to have a grand prize off of this, one of the prizes of the person that does it all the way through, and then it's going to give me their weight at the beginning, they're going to give me their weight at the end, and I'm going to have a grand prize winner, is going to have a day, because I'm going to lead you to a day of fasting, and we're going to play around with what fasting is. I don't mean fasting there's different ways of fasting mean. Some people's fasting is this is all you had. No, I'm not doing that one. But I have a different way, and it may involve a kind of a green-based day, right? The whole day, right? And for that, I just need a green morning to get you ready for what could be a green day, yeah? So it's a green morning, and then a couple hours later, nice little snack, maybe I have a boiled egg or something, I have something else with some little spinach or something, whatever you want to do, because we want eating, I want a lot of eating, but we're just starting our day green. Does that make sense? And I'm going to send you a little couple, a green recipe for something I think could be yummy. I would love for you to do it. It's not mandatory. I made it open for green. Any other questions about the challenge? 2 components.
Okay, apart from the green morning, what do we have for the rest of the day? Is it just vegetables, or can you?
So it can be a couple of things. I'm going to resend the rhythm diet, right? You guys had that. I just realized some people did not do that because you came on later, so you don't know. You're like, what is she talking about? I love the idea. And Aprilis, you know, you added a little protein to your rhythm diet at certain times, I think towards the end. That's cool. That's fine. You know, animal protein I'm talking about. There's plant protein and animal protein. I have no issues with that. But what I want you to do, at least on one of the days, is to experience what it would be just to eat vegetarian.
Okay.
What does that feel like? Now, that doesn't mean you're just eating vegetables. That means that you have some, maybe quinoa, something else that's a protein-based grain that may come in that could be a part of something. Right. Okay, so we can talk about that. So the other thing that you really want to do, and I had a nice little question about, you know, some people with the greens and the vegetables and all of that can have experience like gas, right? So I'm going to send around some natural, a little earlier before we did this challenge, some natural remedies on that, but also Beano and Gas-X, but there's Beano is one if that can help. I know people put out Gas-X, I think maybe the dietitian might have mentioned that. I know ginger can be a great source. So, and then I know also it's certain greens that can be a little bit more troubling for some people, like broccoli, like Brussels sprouts. And so also it can be staying away from those and maybe being more in the cabbage family and things like that. And cabbage, you know, every vegetable that you think about, when I say green, and people kind of go to their main source of what they get their greens from, but even something as simple as cabbage, you know, comes in all different colors, right? And we learned from our last, or maybe 2 weeks ago, that every color that the thing that a vegetable comes in brings a different vitamin and nutrient to you. So we talked about the green pepper versus the red pepper versus the yellow pepper, right? And the red pepper is actually the best with the most antioxidants, most vitamin benefit for you. The green pepper is probably the least. It's new, it's green, it's young, and it really doesn't have as much benefit. Same thing with cabbage, right? So you have purple cabbage, which is really a whole different flavor and flavor profile and brings a different kind of benefit to your body. So don't be limited. Okay, I say green, and that's, I ain't gonna hate on purple cabbage, right? I'm not gonna hate on a yellow something, right? I just mean that it's more vegetable based, right? And notice I did not say tomato. So if we could keep tomato out, hold that note. Hold that note. Say, Lisa, what do you have against a tomato? You're gonna ask me that next week. Hold that note, and I'll tell you all about the tomato next week when we talk about certain things. I don't hate a tomato, but the tomato is not coming in the morning. There are some limits to tomatoes, right? Anything with seeds in it is what? Is a fruit.
A fruit.
That's exactly right. People think it's a vegetable, but it's not. Anything. Squash, right? It's got seed in it. Cucumbers, right? Okay. Any other questions about what you need to do? We are starting it on Monday, and you're running it through Friday. That means before Monday, if you're really in it, because I'm gonna tell you, you got to do all parts of the challenge. If you're really in it, I need to have your weight before, and I need your weight after. Right? I would love you to post it online. That's right. On the internet. I don't mean on Facebook. I mean on our little page that we have, right? Post it, be free. Free yourself, free your mind. Like he said, what was it? Kame and Mushin. You know, do all that for Kame and Mushin with your weight. Doesn't matter. Really, it's just a number. When you post it, don't you feel like you're more accountable? Don't you find? When you post it out there, because then you got to post it again and you want to see it. You don't want to say, right. So there we go. So we're going to post it, no big deal. Now, if you really hate to post, send it to me in a separate email like some of you do. So no, I don't hate on that for that. I'm just challenging you. That's not a requirement. I just need to have it before and I need to have it in and after. And we're going to kind of play around with that. The other thing that I need for you all is to make sure you're opening your emails. If you do not get an email on Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, text me right away. A couple people did, and then I'll send it to you separately. But I need you to go in and check your spam to make sure it's not going in there, and so that you can get it out of spam. Anyone that's on the call, what recipe was on yesterday's email?
The one with the lentils.
Hello, Moroccan lentils. That one I need you to make, if you can, this weekend. Moroccan lentils. Felisa, I didn't get the email. Well, no, go in your spam and find it. But or tell me you didn't get it, and I'll make sure it's resent. Right?
Okay.
Very low in calories, absolutely delicious. I've had this. I love it, and I think you'll love it too. It does have some hotness in it, and I know a couple of people have told me they don't like hot food. So just take whatever ingredient you don't like, don't put in. I happen to like really hot and spicy food. So that's not a part of the challenge, but that is something I really would love you guys to do. And if you change it up a little bit, take a picture of it and send it around. How did you, enhance the particular recipe? Any questions about the challenge or about today or about what you need to do and when we're starting? Yes?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Monday.
I'd like to say with the green drink, can you put cucumbers in it?
Sure, you can. But you know what? Let me just give you a little heads up in one of the things I want to talk about. It's really a great idea to start de-seeding some of these fruits, few of them, if you can. And I'll give you more information on that. I don't want to information overload you today, but we're going to talk about something I told you to write down, lectin. We're going to talk about what lectin is and the impact it has on fruits and vegetables. So take the seeds out and blend. Okay.
All right.
But that's okay because it's green and it's fruit, but
yeah.
Cool. Any other questions? Y'all?
How about drink?
Yeah.
We can drink still?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Most
water, tea.
Yeah. Yes. Lots of herbal teas. Remember our about a month ago. And she was talking about all the different types of teas. As a matter of fact, I got one of hers, which was a dandelion tea, which was very yummy. So dandelion tea, I think, is an awesome one to have as well. So go and get like your green teas, your herbal tea. And my daughter makes a huge pitcher every morning of it. And so I have that in the refrigerator, which is so good. So you have it hot, cold, any all ways. You want to make sure you're keeping, especially in this nice hot and humid weather, your hydration level is high, right? That's also for your metabolism. Hello. If you're dehydrated, your metabolism is what allows you to burn calories and to have energy to do what you need to do. So we need a high metabolism. So I'm giving you all these different things to get you there in pieces, and then we'll tie it all together with the last major challenge that we're going to do on that. When I say major, I mean major. So if you don't have any other questions, or you don't have a question because I don't want to take more time. I know we went a little bit long today. Yes, we did. But I wanted to make sure I answered whatever question. So I'm going to stay on for a minute. But if you have to leave, go ahead. You know what you need to do. I hope I get a flood of weights today or tomorrow morning, right? Some people actually send it with them standing on the scale. They just send their foot, a little picture. I love it. I take whatever. Hey, Mr. Al, I haven't seen you. I usually see it's you. You're usually in the dark. Now you went out. He's like, oh, stop calling on me, Lisa. So send me your weights today or tomorrow, and then let's get ready for what next week's going to look. You're going to be back on the rhythm diet or back on, maybe doing the vegan challenge evening meals. I'm going to send you, as I said, a green drink, which should be great, but you can eat it as well. You can eat your greens or you can drink your drinks, either way. So it's a choice. Okay. So I'm here. Any other questions? I'm here. I'm just going to stay on for about 5 minutes, make sure I get everybody's questions. I know someone just called in. Who is that came on?
Janet Telford.
Oh, okay. Oh, no. Okay, so I see. So some people call in and are on, so it gets me all confused. All right, whatnot. No other questions? You guys are ready?
Just one thing. Yeah. So we're starting the the 12 or 14 hours. We're starting that when? No eating after?
So it's going to, that's a good question. So it starts on Monday, but really means it starts on Sunday, right?
Okay.
Anyway, after dinner Sunday, it's begun.
Okay.
That make sense? That's when you start counting the 12, 14, 16 if you want hours
Okay.
Right.
Got it.
And it makes sense because that's when you're going to break the fast. That's what breakfast should be, breaking the fast.
Okay. That's
Okay,
good.
thanks for that question, clarity. Yes. Anybody else? Everybody else? Everybody? Nobody? Yes. Okay, guys. See you later, Freda.
Okay. Have a good one.
All right, get out and walk. It's beautiful.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Love you guys. Stay safe.
You too.